stuff you did with your cards, you threw them in the shoebox, all that stuff, it's out the window now. Collecting's gotten much more sophisticated. As card values have gone up, there's more at stake in buying the right cards, also in keeping them protected.
87 is really when cards really started to take off from baseball cards, around 1986, 87, yeah.
That's when many of these people, dealers and customers, say they started paying more attention to their cards, when they started to have value.
It's kind of a nostalgic thing, seeing cards 20 years old that I saw when I was a little kid or that I had when I was younger and wanting to get them back. I've been buying a lot of them back. We've been spending a lot of money in the past few months.
Apparently, with so much at stake, cards that were once thrown in a shoebox and kept in the closet are now coming to card shows practically brand new and well protected. And everybody seems to be making money.
About 3 years ago at the San Jose show, I did up there. I bought Nolan Ryan rookies for $200 a piece. I bought 3 of them, and now they're $1,500 each.
I think my collection is worth about $10,000 now. A little bit, probably between 10 and 15.
Here's what collectors often look for in cards, ones that are in mint condition or look brand new. Superstars like Cecil Fielder often sell, especially cards from their rookie years, and the fewer printed, the more rare or valuable they are. All this has created more business. The Beckett Guides are part of the boom. They tell the monthly changes in the prices of cards in all sports. And it seems every week you can find card shows throughout the Southland or a new card shop opening up.
We started just selling the memorabilia at the start, and then all of a sudden we started putting the cards in our case, and the hobby just took off. So since then, it's just been primarily cards the whole way.
We have heard many stories of hobby dealers recommending Upper Deck cards because they are counterfeit-proof. Our first card, our number one card in 1989, was Ken Griffey Jr. That card now has a value put on it by collectors of $40. It can't be counterfeit because of the hologram on the back.
If you have a collection or you want to start one, here's some tips on how to protect it. Keep your most valuable cards in a safety deposit box. That's how many big collectors protect their investment. If you keep cards at home, even in a secret place, you should include them in your renter's or homeowner's insurance policy. And if your insurance company won't, shop around for a company that does. There are several in the Southland that carry such policies. Now, one sure way to protect yourself is to know how much you should be paying for each card. There's all sorts of guides on the market. Right here is the Beckett Monthly Baseball Monthly. It's one of the more popular ones. There's also a bigger, thicker volume that shows every card. These are only for the hot cards, and this one also has it for football, basketball, and hockey editions. So whatever your fantasy card is, it should be in here.
I don't think there can be oversaturation. You know, they're only going to buy what they want, and eventually, when that point will come, and the manufacturers I think they pretty much got their finger on the pulse of the industry. They know where to stop.
Individual typesets, the Topps seems to be coming out with more and more and more, and it just, in that aspect, like Topps seems to be overdoing it with a lot of extra sets. The other companies aren't doing the same type of thing. You'll always have your baseball collectors no matter what.
For kids today, for their age, it's getting more and more difficult because the prices are going higher. It's not something I would say it's kids, it's more adults today.
Today, the younger card collectors really have no loyalty to either the player, the team, or the card itself. They simply want to know what it's worth and how much it will be worth. When I was young, we collected cards for the players who were on them because of loyalties we had developed. Today, it's all investment. It's a business even for the youngest kids.
The interesting thing is if you look at the Pee Wee Reese card, you'll see that the corners have some wear. Because when we were growing up, we never thought that it was going to be like this. I remember in order to win flipping contests, taping the corners of the cards so they'd be heavier and they would go further distances. And what you used to play, the two games we played was who could get closest to the wall, and you would take the card and flip it like this. That was the movement. The other thing was topsies, where you'd have to get the card on top of the other card. If it was on the white margin, it didn't count. It had to be actually touching the color of the card. I remember some days winning hundreds of cards, and I remember once losing my entire collection to an older kid, and my brother went and got it back for me, my older brother, because he thought it was unfair.
Whoa, if we get this card, I trade my collection for a 52 mantle because it's just worth so much. But I like it for the spirit of collecting, and just because it's worth a lot of money. I think the older cards are also better than the newer cards. Those cards back then, because they're just better. There's limited quantities and things like that.
And that the kids come in now and they're not thinking of collecting anymore. It's a business, and you're right, it is a business. Used to be people came and they would buy packs and open it up and collect the whole set and try to put it together themselves. Now they come in and buy a whole set at a time, buy everything for investment, and usually what they think is a good investment is not. A lot of people buy new stuff thinking they're going to make hundreds of dollars, and for the most part, they're buying things that are going to go down, not up. Whereas if they bought things that were actually for collecting, they would make more money in the long run. They would get both at the same time. If they bought Ruth cards, which they can still get relatively cheap, which surprised people, you can get Ruth cards for the same price as a Canseco. You'd have a collection and the money at the same time, and they make a lot more in the long run.
I don't think the spirit's lost. I think it's a stepping stone. You have to start with the new stuff and work your way. You can't just go buy manuals if you don't know what you're buying. So the kids that are buying these $2 and $3 cards, they're learning the appreciative value of these cards. They fight for their guide every day or every week to see how much their card went up, and they're happy when they made some money. And that's a stepping stone. They'll work with 89s, then they'll go to 84, and then pretty soon they'll be down in the 50s and the 30 cards. And that just comes with experience. You don't just do that instantly, And again, condition is the key. When they do learn that they try to sell their dollar card and they only get 10 cents because it's got a little crease in it, they learn to take care of them. They buy them, they put them in a nice hard sleeve, and they take care of them. And that's the.
He'd rather buy a Don Manley card anyway for $3 or $5, or if he can buy the rookie card for $30 and $40. So as far as that aspect, I don't think that it's hurting. I mean, because this market was supposed to be, at one point it was for kids, but that's strictly out of the window. I mean, it's really for everybody now. Adults and kids collect in their own set ways. Adults might go after the old cards because they want to go after players from when they saw baseball. And they might, being an adult, he might be able to afford spending $100. But a kid, it doesn't bother him in any way that he can't buy a Willie Mays, a Mickey Mantle, Johnny Bench card, because, like I said, he never saw those guys. He's really not interested in them. He's interested in the new players. He knows more about new cards than a lot of adults do. I have a lot of kids come in the store. They know all about the new players. They know a lot more than adults because they follow the cards, the new cards. So they're happy. And then, like I said, I don't think the spirit of collecting is hurt by that. It's just that the prices have really gone up. But people are still willing to pay for them.
I found this video pretty fascinating to see how similar some of the thoughts, even though the industry has changed so much since 1991, the people they're talking with have very similar thoughts, and you'd hear a lot of the same things that people are saying in 1991 as you would if you asked those same questions to people in the hobby today. It's fascinating. Now, the one thing, none of those people could see the future, and none of them knew the internet was going to come about in 5 years from then, and eBay would take over, and other card online markets would take over, and it completely changed the game for the better, for the much, much better. Access, accurate pricing determined by the market, not by some book or company. Excellent for sports cards. On top of that, they couldn't foresee grading and how much that's blown up in the past 10 to 20 years. Some of them did talk about condition, and that's pretty amazing, but it's just people were talking about similar things. Kids can't get into the hobby all the way back in 1991, and we're doing the same today. And it is a shame, but it's been expensive. It didn't start yesterday. Think back to when you were a kid. I was pretty priced out. I did spend some money on cards, of course, birthday money, chores, but I wasn't in there ripping a ton of packs or boxes. Or buying a lot of singles. They also talked about how kids even then, or not kids, people getting into the hobby, were getting into the hobby for reasons of investment or to make money, and that's what you hear a lot today. But I really do think that the people making YouTube content, the people truly that make the hobby go, are collectors, are people that, yes, of course you want your cards to appreciate. Of course you might sell some, buy some, but people that have some sort of PC, whether it be Baseball Sports Card Investor has his Cal Ripkens, or who knows what Jeff Wilson, Sports Investor, has, or Sports Card Radio. These people have personal collections. They are at utmost, they love sports cards. They wouldn't be making contact. They wouldn't be doing what they do if they did not truly love sports cards. And there's more of us than people think. And I welcome investors and other people that want to get in to make the hobby bigger, better, and more fun.
What up, everybody? This is Robert Ory, aka Big Shot Bob, and you're watching Professional Sports Cards. Hey, by the way, go buy my rookie card.